Re-recorded from the wettest woods you know, it's Malignant Bear, featuring me, JD Grospitz. Hello everyone. Today we're taking a quick look at the game Against the Storm. This game is a recommendation, and it is a roguelike or roguelite city builder. And it's a very interesting combination of genres, and it works very well. I intended to check it out just for a little bit, and suddenly several hours had passed. I think this is one of the more interesting and enjoyable games I've played in quite a while, but unfortunately it does tend to get a little repetitive, so we're doing this as a quick look rather than a full stream, so we can just showcase a little bit of the gameplay. But without any further ado, let's jump on in and check it out. So here we are in the main menu of the game, and right away you'll notice some things that I think are very good and interesting about this title. We have news about what the game is doing. It's in early access, so we know what has changed recently. We know when the next update is coming, and they have a full roadmap. They've been very upfront about everything that the game is going to be doing and everything they're going to be changing and adding and improving upon, which is awesome. So many games kind of sit and languish in early access for a very long period of time, and Against the Storm seems committed to giving as much information as possible while they're in the early access period. So, let's jump on in and hit play. So the premise of this game is that there is only one city left on the planet, the Smoldering City, occupied by the Red Queen or Scarlet Queen or something, and she sends you out, one of her viceroys, to go and collect more resources around the world. And every now and then, a massive storm comes and destroys everything else in the world except for the city here. So you have to go out, collect resources by building a little settlement, a little outpost, and then you complete objectives in that game, and then you get some upgrades for the actual city. So we'll check out the city itself. I'm very early on, so we don't have a whole lot of them, but there's a huge upgrade tree here, and so you get some various resources here, food stockpiles, machinery, artifacts that you can use to then get more permanent upgrades for all of your runs going forward. So for example, right now we have some of these, and we have a permanent 2% increase or decrease to the speed at which Queen's impatience grows, and we'll talk about that in the actual game. But you can see here there's different things, so you get some slight bonuses for your runs. You have deeds, these are just achievements, which is pretty cool, and they get you experience, so you can upgrade and improve more things here within the city. But don't have anything to buy right now. And here we can see one of the towns we already did. So this was the first town I did outside of the tutorial. We have here explaining all the things in the game. The game has a full encyclopedia talking about everything in it, which is great, because there's a lot of stuff in this game. So we can see here all of the different things that are taking place, all the buildings, all the different buffs that we can get, the traders we can find, the various species we might see in the game, their wants and needs. So each different type of settler you can have within your settlement has various things they need that improves their resolve. They can eventually run away, they might have more demands, they're better or worse at certain things. There's other factions that you can encounter. Different traders have different things as well. These are all various buffs that you can get throughout each mission, which we'll see when we go through. And there's a ton of buildings, and we don't even have that many unlocked yet. There's still a whole bunch more. And then this is just all the detail about the game. So you can do daily tasks later on when you upgrade more stuff. But what we're going to do is just get started here and see what it looks like. We're not going to go through an entire run of a game because it can take a little while. But let's see. So depending on where you spawn, you're going to have different effects. And you can see here you get a little hex grid, and that determines how large the play area is. So we want to get some good effects here. Interestingly, you can actually spawn right next to one of your previous cities if you want to. Let's go right here. And whenever you go and embark on an expedition, you can choose what your starting people are going to be, what your various settlers will have, and the resources you'll spawn with. So certain things are better or worse than others. So for example, we wanted 8 lizards, but then we also have the option for 2 more villager groups early on. We can do that. Or have 9 people at the beginning, but maybe more resources. You can see a summary of what you're going to be doing, any modifiers, so you can see what you might have there, various bonuses you can pick. We're going to go ahead and we'll pick that one. All of the resources we have. We'll have the lowest difficulty here, and Townsville. You can name all of your towns. It doesn't matter because they'll be going away whenever the storm hits. Let's go ahead and embark. Right, so we see what we have here. The forest mysteries. All of the resources we have. So the royal woods are rich in timber. They might not eat food. Okay, that's good. You can see the strength of the storm and the various mysteries that we might uncover. Alright, so we spawn in right away, and you can see what we're working with here. So we have our villagers, some beavers, and some lizards. We have our hearth as well. And your citizens, they need to gather around that to, get healthy, take their breaks, all that good stuff. We can determine who's going to consume what. So that's a new thing that we've just unlocked, which is cool. But there's a lot of stuff going on in the UI here. So we can look at all of our villagers, so we see how many we have, how many are free to just build things, how many are homeless, which they hate, and the various things that they need to do to improve their situation and be a little happier. Right, so we have to choose a blueprint. That alert just came up. All the alerts in the game are customizable, so you can turn them on or off depending on how many you want to see and how much you want to do with them. But the one we got is good, because it leads me to the main thing that we need to be doing, which is filling up this blue bar. So throughout the game, we're going to be getting deeds, which we don't have any yet, but those are small objectives you have to complete within this map. And each time you do one, it fills up the bar a little bit, and you can see you get some perks as you go through it. So you get more random blueprints, and then you have to balance that with this other bar, the Queen's Impatience. So every minute, the Queen gets a little bit more impatient with the fact that you're taking a while. Completing a deed gets rid of one full impatience, but then, again, you have to balance it and make sure this doesn't go all the way to the top. So let's look at some of the blueprints we can get. So this is where we get into some of the roguelike or roguelite elements of the game. You have a couple kind of generic things that you always start with to get you going, but then you have to pick your blueprints based on your reputation as you're doing deeds. And each building can do different things, it costs different things, and you need to balance out what you actually need to do in the mission with what buildings you have. Close that for now. We'll see some of the stuff we can build. So we have paths and roads. We can get wood, stone, plant fibers and reeds, grains, berries and mushrooms, meat, insects, and eggs. You can farm. They have to be built on specific things, though. Housing, obviously we want to do that at some point. Some basic industry things, so a workstation, so you can refine some of your resources, a trading post, that's the trade, or no, that's some other thing. Trading post is somewhere else. Rain collector, a mine, some city buildings, there's the trading post, and then some decorations. So obviously this game takes place in a forest. That's why I made that joke at the start. And within the forest is all these various little glades. And the glades can have different events or special things in them, so you want to try to get to them. Some glades are dangerous, so they have problems in them that you want to probably try to avoid if you can. And again, these are all randomly generated, so this is where the roguelike element takes place. Let's see, the first thing you always want to do is before we even take any blueprints, we're going to ignore this for now and see what deeds we get. But we definitely want a woodcutter's camp, and we want to start cutting into some of these glades that are closest to us. So there's a couple right over there. You can reposition your buildings, and a lot of buildings you can actually pick up and move around even after they're built for no cost, which is nice. So you can make your little settlement look as nice as you want it to. Go ahead and resume, and our people will go and start doing stuff. You can click on your villagers, and you get a little bit of information about them. Not much, this is as close as you can zoom in. Which is a shame, because the game looks pretty good. I like this art style. It's very comfy. Just the entire game is comfy. It seems like it would be stressful, but it's not so far. Alright, so we've got this built. and we want to set various people here to do things. We're going to use the beavers on this. We'll fill it up, though, because beavers are better at woodcutting. Who would have thought? So we want to put them there. We're going to hold off on getting those blueprints still. Start working on, let's see, a path. Oop. Paths don't cost anything, which is nice. We just want to put some of these around because everything needs to be based around your hearth, and your people move a little faster when they're on paths. So, alright, so we got our first random event. So no one can weather the storm alone. The Queen offers a cornerstone that will lay the foundation for your town's prosperity. So you get these random little events that pop up. Sometimes they're buffs and bonuses like this. Sometimes new villagers will come to help you. Again, lots of variety in them, and I think there's more coming as well. So, urban root production is increased by 1 for every biscuit produced. Gain 10 amber every time a villager dies or leaves. And you can decline, and eventually you'll get the ability to re-roll these as well. Ooh. Pick that one, it's a little less morbid. So while this is happening, let's see what else we can build. We can move the camera around a little bit, see a whole bunch of stuff that way. So what else do we want? The trapper's camp, so we can start harvesting these eggs. Lizards are very good at harvesting eggs, which is good. And no, I don't want that one. I don't want that one either. It's not that one. There's a lot of stuff. So I want these. These are plant fibers, right? Yeah. Alright, so we'll keep it small for now. Put some lizards over there. Here we have our first deeds, actually. Or orders, rather, sorry. Deeds are the long-term progression thing. So you want to pick an order, and you get them as the match goes, or as the game goes on. So each individual level might take a while. Maybe about an hour to complete one. But it's going to guide you along the way because you get to pick what you want to do, and again, you have to complete these to fill this bar to actually finish. So you could choose which objective you want. Let's see, build a stonecutter's camp and a harvester's camp. Or have a bunch of packs of resources. You can see which rewards you get. Oh, a perk for that. That could be good. Okay. Cut through the forest to discover 3 glades, and keep beavers resolve above 16 for 30 seconds, and then you'll get more beavers. Let's see, I can't quite see what the resolve is right now. It looks like it's 11. It might be a while until we can get close to that, but we're about to cut through some glades, actually, so we'll pick that. Get that one done and over with very quickly. Cut through the forest to discover some glades. Make some paths. Villagers move even faster on roads. So you can see here, you want to kind of pick and choose what will be good for you. So we're going to cut into a bunch of glades here. And we can actually determine what glades we're going to cut into, because you can pick which forests you want to cut. There's a whole bunch of options, both in terms of accessibility and gameplay in this, which is good. So you can make this, again, as hard or easy as you want, and more options to make this kind of a little bit more engaging or hands-off, depending on what you want to actually do with it. So we'll go ahead and build those, and start building some shelters. And thankfully you can move shelters at any time, so you don't have to worry about putting them in like a bad spot. 3 people per shelter. We've cut into our first glade, so you can see what's in it now. At one point I did get a perk or a bonus that let me see what was in glades before I got to them, which was kind of cool. So you could then pick and choose a little bit better about what you wanted to actually get to. Alright, so we need building materials, crops, and provisions. So we probably want to pick some things that can help us get to that. Luxury goods. No, we don't need that. Though that could be useful. Ooh. Coal, bricks, and jerky are all good, so let's go with that one. then a farm is good. We definitely want that so we can get some more food going. The provisioner, the smokehouse, or the scribe. The scribe is new. See, we do need to make packs of provisions, so let's make the provisioner. That makes sense. And sometimes you'll get some random events that happen. There's a time progression in the game, so the rain will keep up and the storm will get closer and worse, and your people do not like that. And as you cut into the forest more, the forest itself gets a little more hostile towards you, because that can mean some more negative events, and your people tend to be a little unhappy about that. But they're working away, which is good. Very hands-off in terms of what they're doing, you're just kind of guiding them. You unfortunately cannot rename any of your villagers, or give them different portraits or anything like that. There's a little bit of a lack of customization. Obviously the game is still fairly early in early access, but that's definitely a feature I would like to see at some point. So, not essential, but would be nice to have for sure. So you can see here, it's showing off the new things that we've got. So build our farm there. Let's see. Let's go ahead and put that there too. Do we not have resources for this? We don't have any planks. Never mind. Right. Yes. So you can destroy things at any time, which is nice. You don't lose any resources when you do. So again, you can kind of make your area look as nice as you want to, which is good. Some city builders, for some reason, just don't allow a lot of customization there, which is frustrating, especially as you get further along and it's like, well, I didn't realize I was going to have to rebuild that, or you know, do X, Y, and Z to actually progress, and instead you end up with a kind of nasty-looking town. But not so in this. So everybody's fully housed, which is good. So we can go in and mess with our consumption control. And eventually we'll get the trading posts and more trade routes as well. You can see some various recipes there. With your hearth here, you can determine what fuel you're going to burn, and sometimes your people like that. Might make them happy if the weather's not going so well for you. The game auto-saves, which is nice. That's why it kind of stuttered there for a second. Alright, so we need some more luxury goods. Eventually we'll get to those. Right now, let's make the crude workstation. Let's toss that over here. Eventually we'll have some people working there so they can start building some other stuff. Okay, woodcutters are hard at work over there. Need them to cut into this glade over here, though. Help them out a little bit. And again, you can move these at any time, which is really nice. It doesn't, like, stop anything. You know, they don't have to reset anything to do it. Make their job a little bit easier. Let's see. 2 lizards that are free, that's good. Wait and see if we can get another event to pop up. Again, you can see all your resources up here and what they're doing. Another complaint I do have, I mentioned that this is as far as you can zoom in, and this is as far as you can zoom out. I might be missing a setting for that, but I wish I could zoom out a little further to get a better feel for the map. Just because they can be pretty big, and you kind of want to plan where you're going in advance, if at all possible. It's not as big a deal, again, because you can reposition things so quickly and easily, but it still would be a nice feature to have. But again, based on what I've seen out of the roadmap and, you know, reading their forums and checking their Discord and things, they seem very committed to changes and improvements and things with the game. So I think that's a very good step, especially for something like this. Got another glade. And a small encampment, even. Alright, so we want to send some people to this encampment. So to do that, we need some free people here. So they want some vegetables, which we have. And then whenever we find encampments like this, we can choose whatever reward we're going to get. So anytime you stumble upon a random event, they want something, and then you choose what you're going to get out of it. So we're going to choose to get more people out of it. So we finished one of our orders, which is good. So we accepted it very quickly from there, but you can see it lowered the queen's impatience. We got another blueprint. So we need building materials, crops, and provisions. The rain mill can make building materials, so we probably want to build that. So again, you can see you kind of need to plan out a little bit of what you're going to do. And here we are, now we're into the storm year. So everyone's resolve is lowering, they're not very happy about the storm. But again, we can choose to spend some of our resources to make the fire a little stronger, which can help mitigate some of that. See how this is going. There's options to have the game pause anytime you stumble upon events like that, which is nice. Swap you out there. We'll put 2 lizards there. And move this over here so we can start cutting into some of these other glades. Again, we have some options here. You can increase or decrease the speed of the game as well, which is good. Let's make things go very fast. Everybody's just kind of trying to get through the day here with the storm. That's fine. Another autosave. Ooh, we have some events, alright. So we got some newcomers. So again, you can pick which newcomers you want and what they're going to bring with them. So in this case, we can get another lizard and 2 humans. And then 3 simple tools. Tools are good to have. So we'll go with this one, actually. Alright, and another cornerstone from the queen. +1 to all wood production. Lose all stored fuel upon picking this. Interesting. This cornerstone option will disappear if you decide to unpause the game before choosing it. Ah, that's new. Okay. So I'm still finding stuff out with this game, which is cool. All stored fuel. How much do I have? So let's see what we get instead. Yes. See, let's unpause and go back and see if it replaces it. No, okay. Probably don't want to lose all of our stored fuel. Okay, we're back to the drizzle, which is good. Master Shake would be pleased. So you get alerts, so we're low on fuel. Definitely good that we didn't do that then, because we didn't have a whole lot of fuel to begin with. They've cut into that. Go in here, see our orders. See the rewards we're going to get, deliver them. And again, we're going to get some more in just a little bit, so we'll see what those are too. We probably want... This is a tough call here. I'm not crazy about any of them, which is kind of the problem. Fields are somewhat rare, but so are resources. Go with that. Let's cut into this last glade and see whatever the new orders we get. Okay, have 16 villagers housed. Oh, if we do this, we'll get 5 humans, but we don't have any grain. So, let's go with houses. Have some clothing, or have very happy people. Not quite there. 2 humans will come with each group of newcomers. Oh, that's pretty good. We actually have that coming as a reward for something else. So let's instead do this one. Start to build some houses here. one of these. I do feel like the game could probably use more shortcuts. I feel like it's lacking in those a little bit, maybe. So we don't need that at all, do we? Nope, never mind. They're going to build it anyways. We'll need it at some point, so... See what this final glade is. Yep, humans are actually happy right now. That's good. We might complete that one very quickly. One other complaint I've had is that all those quests where it tells you have to keep something for like X amount of time, if it drops at all during that time, you lose it. Which makes sense, but can feel a little crummy, especially if it's like something for just a split second. So what do we have here? Some more fertile soil, which is good, so we can have a farm there. And more resources. So you see, you have to keep constantly expanding, but you have to balance out where you're expanding to with the different glades, the forest hostility, and the resources you have and the ones that you need to complete your orders to actually finish the game and have enough reputation. But again, at the same time, you have to do it fast enough that the queen does not get tired of you and your stalling or your antics or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, this game's cool. It's nice to see that there's differences every time you jump in, which is neat, but with the same core gameplay, and you have something to build up to with all of those unlocks there in the main city and all of the deeds and things that you work towards. So it ends up feeling like a fresh new run every single time, but with the added benefit of long-term progression. But then you also have the nice ease of access in terms of moving things around. Oh, my trappers are all done here. So again, you can see it's telling us where various things are. And sometimes you might run out of resources. So right now we don't have anything that the trappers can do. So actually, just get rid of this. We don't need it anymore. We can think about building some other things instead. Brewery's cool, but we need a tavern so they can actually drink the beer. Carpenter is good, we definitely want simple tools. Need those later on. But you can see here, you start to get more and more stuff as the game goes on. I'm glad that this game was recommended to me. I think it's very good and interesting. It's a cool concept, it's done very well, and the devs seem very committed to improving it and sticking with it and everything, which is nice to see. I've seen far too many promising games fizzle out in early access over the years. But yeah, we're going to end it there. I wanted to keep this relatively short, even though it is kind of a longer play style of game. But I figure 30 minutes is enough. But yeah, this is Against the Storm. Like I said, this is one of the more interesting games that I've gotten to play and check out this year. And I'm looking forward to playing more of it in the future, because I'm certainly enjoying it, and I hope you enjoyed this quick look as well. And until next time, have a good one.